as I cling to the evergreen memories of my youth, I remember a small town with friends, and we would just hang out and make memories that would last, enjoy each other's company. And yet, that wasn't always a thing, you know? Sometimes, most of the time, I had to work or do something else. And I really wish in real life there was some kind of system that would upgrade your skill tree or whatever, your knowledge or your expression or your diligence or your courage, you know, through doing these specific jobs like it is in the game, but not so in real life. And maybe that's what makes Persona 4 special, is it's not real life, but there's a lot of parallels to real life. And especially at the time when I initially played the game back in the day, 9 years ago in 2015, I didn't know what I was gonna get myself into, but it has spawned so many good feelings and melancholic feelings at times, and I got to share the game with my friends and experience it in that regard. But having just done a playthrough now, I debated on whether or not making a Persona 4 video was even necessary at this point. And I really wasn't going to until the very end. I was coincidentally watching a video by Philosophy Tube about death, and I was right in the part with the... Okay, I'm sorry. Big spoilers for Persona 4. This is what I want to plead with you guys. I'm serious. This is why I don't want to do this video, or I've been putting off doing this video for such a long time. If you have not played the game, you must leave now. I cannot spoil this for somebody. I do not want that to be happening. But at the same time, that's why. Because I'd be regretting not giving my entire thoughts, doing, living up to the truth, and explaining why this game makes me feel so, as much as I can. Just rambling and telling you my thoughts and feelings. So, I'm saying it now, please, if you have not played the game, leave. Go play the game, come back. It's accessible now, guys. Last time when I made a Persona 4 video in 2020, it wasn't accessible, and I talked all about how you have to have the Vita version and all of this stuff. Well, later that year, or the next year or whatever, they released the fucking Switch version and the PC version and all... Or not the Switch version. Yeah, it would have been the PC version and like all those. And I actually have the Grimoire version from Limited Run Games coming, but I wanted to make the video now while it was still fresh, while I'd beaten the game. And so I was watching a video from Philosophy Tube about death when I was doing the Marie dungeon, and there was a lot of parallels there, and I thought about it, and I thought I would definitely regret never making a video where I just share how I don't even know what to say there. Persona, Anyway, Teddy's a great fucking character for combat, by the way. Not a great. He's got his issues character-wise, but he's broken combat-wise, and he's a staple to my team now. I replaced Yukiko with him, which is insane. I love Yukiko. She was my first girlfriend in Persona, and always was a staple of my team, but I think Teddy does that even better in some regards. Anyway, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking that I would regret not making this video if I ever did, and I was hoping that, maybe this will finally be the Persona 4 video where I can be proud of it and finally put to rest this game. Not that I won't ever play it again, but that I can have reviewed it in some capacity. And I did talk about a lot of mechanical stuff in the video I did make in 2020 called Is It a Good Beginner RPG, where I think I watched about half of the video just before I came on here to kind of see what I was reminiscing about, and it was a lot of mechanical stuff. But Persona 4 to me is so much more than its mechanics, you know? And I can't necessarily do justice to the themes and the characters and go super in depth on all of that, but I love all of that, you know? Every time I play the game, I get emotional, and every time I hear the soundtrack, I get emotional because it's a perfect soundtrack. And everything, when I say perfect, I always have this caveat, like with the soundtrack, like the fog track is like not perfect, but you know, like that was an ambiance that they were trying to go to, and I understand that, but I'm just astounded every single time about how emotional the game makes me, and I have a little bit of heightened feelings this time. Obviously, I'm a very changed person, and physically I'm different as well, you know? My body is running on different stuff now, and it puts me in a place to where I can be more vulnerable and emotional. But every time I play this game, I always do feel that, regardless of where I was at in my life. You know, ever since I was 22 or 3 or whatever it would have been, or 24, I guess. This game has meant so much to me, you know? And it all really started randomly. It was just, I really wanted a Vita because it was the hot new thing, you know? And then it wasn't the hot new thing because it was failing, and everyone was saying, you need to play this Persona 4 game, and I'm just like, how could this game be as good as all of this hype? Everyone was saying it was their favorite Vita game and all of this stuff, and I heard about it on the All Gen Gamers a bunch of times from Pete Dorr, and it really turns out that it lived up to all of that hype, you know? I finally got the game much later on after it came out, because it came out in like 2012 or something, you know, and when I finally got the Vita, when it was on its last freaking legs, when it was basically dead at that point, and I got Persona 4, it was a really magical experience. I played it for like a week straight and skipped a bunch of classes, and as soon as I beat it, it was another sort of milestone, pivotal moment in my life. I know this is going to sound so silly, but the Brony fandom was another one of those in 2013 where it kind of changed my whole perception on things, and I was really happy again just being part of a fandom, and it made me feel so much, you know, and Persona 4 was that for me in 2015, just a few years later. It really meant a lot to me, and it still means a lot to me. And I think what really got me that time around was I was at the perfect sort of moment. I was not... I think I graduated the next year. I was in college at the time, and I was having a really rough go at it. I feel like my friendships were fine, and we were doing all well and everything, but once I played that game, it really impacted me on such a level to where I wanted to be friends with everyone, you know? I wanted to go out there and really have even more friends so I could experience something as beautiful as I did during those social links, you know? And I did make a couple more temporary friends back then, sort of like in my environmental science class and club and all of that. And you kind of get grouped up in there, and I made a couple friends there for that year, and I tried to get them to play Persona 4, and they never did. The Vita TV was a hard sell at the time, and it's really nice that it's accessible now, because this game needs to be accessible. It's an all-time great, fantastic game. It is my favorite RPG of all time, and my favorite game of all time that's not nostalgically tied to a previous franchise from my childhood. I know that's a big qualifier, but the 3 games that top it are Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Solid, and Tomba, 2 games of which I played in my childhood. And Metal Gear Solid 4, a game that also lived up to the hype back in the day, and concludes one of my favorite franchises of all time, if not my favorite franchise of all time. So for this game to come out of nowhere and just rocket into my top 10, to be my top 4th game of all time, and be my favorite RPG of all time, over Dragon Quest VIII and so many other great ones like Golden Sun, and just every other RPG, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, so many games like that probably deserve that slot. And I didn't think Dragon Quest VIII was ever gonna get topped, but I had such a visceral reaction, such a powerful connection to the game, and it's social links. I think that's so brilliant, the idea of putting these characters there, and being able to not only experience their dungeons, right, but which is a big emotional thing, where we see their true selves, and they're afraid to admit that is their true selves, and they still face that and try and better themselves, and then you get to see that play out throughout a social link, and it's just so powerful. And that's also very special to me, because I kind of had to do that same thing over the past couple of years here. And yeah, so all the social links really mean a lot to me. In terms of like favorite characters, like Naoto is definitely one of them. I have a whole separate rant for that I might or might not go into, but we'll see how that goes down. Yukiko, of course, is great. And she's so charming, and she laughs all the time. And she's like the one that they're trying to ship the protagonist with. I guess okay, I don't want to talk about all these negative things. I guess if I had one complaint with the game, aside from some other issue, but if I had one big complaint, like, I would have preferred like a FemC character as well. I know that's kind of asking for a lot, maybe in the Persona 4 remake, but I kind of tried to play my character in such a way that they were sort of a FemC in a sense. Whenever I got the infamous cross-dressing items, I threw Teddy into that one too, because I just think he looks so cute in the Alice costume. Also, okay, I know, I hate to be this person, but did anybody else notice Teddy, like, at the end of the game, kind of, I don't know, his outfit just said, like, maybe I'm looking too far into it, but I just want to see things that aren't there, but I got very, like, trans girl vibes from him, it's like, and he's so pretty, too, and that's the thing, and he just, like, he didn't even mind, like, dressing up like that. It's very egg behavior. That might be, like, a more wholesome theory to the opposite theory that is kind of less wholesome and problematic in a sense, but anyway, I love Teddy. I don't love his constant perviness in a sense. That's kind of where I draw the line. And Yosuke does the same exact thing. He's a great guy, but, like, if he could just tone that down and tone down, like, some of the homophobia, like, that would be great, I guess I can talk about that. The one thing that kind of was a little not great going through this time was Yosuke and Naoto in a sense for a whole sort of separate reason, but Yosuke and his homophobia kind of sucks, you know? And it's of its time. It's 2008. I understand, but it's the one little thing about the game that I'm just like, God damn it, can't they not do that? Now, originally, Yosuke was supposed to be a romanceable character, which that would have made for a good kind of lesson for his homophobia, or like a reason. It was internalized homophobia, him trying to not face up to himself, and that would have made a lot of sense, you know? Maybe he would have opened up his mind and been a little more open-minded. Open up his mind. Open-minded, yeah. He could have been a little more open-minded and accepting and stuff, especially with like kanji and stuff. And you know, they kind of, I don't want to say botched kanjis, like he might be like bi thing, like, or even just gay, you know. I would have liked that explored a little better, and they explore his more feminine interests, but you know, it just feels like there's a lot left on the cutting room floor there, and sometimes they've even admitted, I believe, somewhere that like there was plans to do stuff like that. There's options. It's what kills me is there's options in the game, like when you're doing the group date cafe, and if you sit on the girl side, you can say to Yosuke that he's like handsome, and you can say the same stuff to Kanji, and there's like one time when you're like comparing swimsuits or something, and like, or they're like, who you'd be most excited to see in his swimsuit, and you could say like, I think Kanji would look the best, you know, like, they're all played for laughs, but the options are there, and sometimes it's kind of a genuinely like decent reaction, like in the group date cafe, you know. And so I feel like there's a lot of hints, a lot of sort of untied up loose ends there with the queer representation of Persona 4, we'll say. I pray that if they ever actually get around to doing a Persona 4 remake, which I think is on the table now. They already did 3, and they'll probably do 5 at some point, and they might even do the first 2, who knows. I pray that they go in and they understand where they went wrong, and they not that they fix it, but they just add some more there to put it into a good context and not have these people be quite as problematic. And I understand, somebody's probably gonna comment like, oh, whatever, like, fuck you, get over it. But it's just like a little thing, you know? And not a little thing, it is a thing. It's just, it's unfortunate that it's there. And I guess I'll just talk about it. Fuck, I don't want to talk about it, but because I know somebody's gonna just yell at me about it or something, and this is the internet, nobody can be civil here, but I love Naoto with all of my heart. Naoto's character, their transness on the table, as question. I just was looking up the other time. I just wanted to know, what's the official stance here? And after playing the game, the official stance is that Naoto is just a woman who likes to dress up like a man or whatever. The things that she says in the social link very much confuse me. Because Naoto just goes back and forth on these very trans-masculine behaviors, you know? She'll say stuff like, and I'm only saying she because that's what the game presents us as. I mean, by the end, that's what she prefers or whatever, but you know, in the Japanese game, apparently, because there's a line when you do her social link, and I think it's only if you like romance her or whatever. She asks if you want her to speak in a higher like pitch in our version, but in like the Japanese version, she literally says, "Can I keep calling myself a man? Is that fine?" Like, you know, or you're gonna be weirded out by that, and like, you know, you have the option to tell her to do that or not to do that, which is already problematic in its own right. Like telling her, "Hey, don't be yourself," like kind of spits in the face of the game, but the themes of the game, but there's even a point like late on in one of the social, you know, like it's like rank 7 or something, where Naoto's like, "I wish I'd just been born a man," you know, and she flips on that at some point, and she flips on that during the dungeon there. But even in the dungeon, there's like the whole thing about um like the bodily alteration surgery or some shit like that the shadow says. Very clearly a trans-coded character here. Um, and I think that got lost along the way, along with Yosuke's gayness and Kanji's gayness, you know, and it it's sad to see that. And I swear I heard somewhere that, like, they cut that stuff out because it was 2008 and it wasn't as accepted at the time or whatever, and just having an openly, you know, gay, like, main party character wasn't on the table at the time or something. But, you know, it's 2024 now, several freaking years later. How many years later? Let's see, 16 years later, and we've progressed a lot. I really, really want them, when they make the remake or whatever, to change that, and not even change that, just add to it to make it a little bit better. That's all. You know, and I saw a whole thing about, you know, like, transness in Atlas at the time. You know, like in Persona 3, apparently there was, like, a really transphobic scene, and then, like, in Catherine, full, you know, not full body Catherine, there's, you know, Erica, which is very, like, the main characters are kind of transphobic towards her. Um, but it just kills me, because Naoto's, like, one of my favorite characters. Naoto's amazing. And she's not even, like, weak to anything, like, Persona, like, stat-wise, like, she's really cool. And I want the best for Naoto, you know, because I love Naoto. I love Teddy, even though he's a weirdo, and I love all of the main party members, even Chie sometimes. You'll never get me to say that again, but um, she has her moments, you know. It's just her voice is terrible, is all, and her social link kind of sucks, but and her move pool sucks. She is kind of sucks, but oh my god, there's so many good moments in this game emotionally. Getting back to that, going off of my stupid tangent rants. They're not stupid, but they're valuable. They mean something. These are feelings I had during this run through. I love the Nanako and Dojima links, and you know, I mean, I love all of the main party links except for, like, Chie, but, like, most of them are really good. The Risei link, I think, is pretty solid. You know, Kanji's link is great. I always love doing that one. The Risei link is worth doing for the gameplay-wise, and just in general, because, like, she gets all these cool moves and whatnot, but, also, I figured out about switching, like, not difficulties, but, like, settings in this one. So, like, near the end, I just cranked up the XP and, like, the money. Because I had to... This is a fresh save. Obviously, I'm playing on, like, Switch now, so it would have been a fresh save anyway. But I did lose my Vita saves, meaning my save and all of my friends' saves, because they all played it on my Vita as well. I lost all of those, probably in 2020, or slightly after I made that last video. I must have, yeah. What was that last video? No, because I would have talked about it there. Yeah, it must have been slightly after that. Anyway, so we're starting afresh. And I completed my compendium as far as I could go. I didn't do all of the links this time, and those are the only personas I'm actually missing this time around. But all the other ones I did, and I don't, I mean, okay, so yeah, I love Nanako Dojima Link, and I really like the Yumi Link. I know everyone seems to hate the Yumi Link for whatever reason, but I like Yumi a lot. She's like my favorite party, non-family character. I don't really count Marie in that because I do like Marie as well. Also, here's my figurines. Aren't they awesome? You could have seen those in the room tour video. Yeah, Marie's Link is also really good, and her dungeon and that boss battle is just so powerful, It gets a little annoying later on when you're like sitting there and all you could do is Megadolian and like, use items to like damage her or whatever. That's a little annoying, and the whole dungeon itself is kind of annoying, but thematically it's very good. I love Murray as a character. I love the storyline of the game, I think all of that is really great. And how your team like comes together to face this insurmountable trial, and they have to keep they are just put through the ringer through this whole thing, and they think it's over like 15 times and basically, and it's like what, 6 endings or something like that. Like it's crazy. But oh my god, okay, seriously, spoilers, I'm serious, get the fuck out of here. At the end, in the final battle, when they all dive in front of you, oh my god, it's so heartbreaking. And I had like 3 of my favorite characters there. I had Kanji and Naoto and Teddy, and Teddy dived in front of me first, and it was, oh, it's so heartbreaking. And so, you do all these social links and whatever, and especially in the run where I did all of them, even the ones I don't like, they come to talk to you, when you get down, and like everyone's standing there talking to you, telling you to get up and telling you to keep going and telling you to just be strong. It's so powerful. And then you unlock your ultimate persona, and you do the myriad of truths thing, and it's this epic like anime moment where you like throw your glasses aside and like destroy Izanami or whatever. And I mean, God, can we talk about the ending? Jesus Christ, is it emotional? Whoever, you have to say goodbye to all of your friends, and even like the last month, it's just like, it plays the Snowflakes music, and it's like, this is where we say farewell, and you're just like, God damn it, this is emotional. Yeah, it's like, you gotta say goodbye to all your friends, and you see how much you've impacted them. The music is just so emotional. And you go around, you see all of them, and, to get the true ending, you have to actually go and, like, meet up at the special headquarters and all of that. And then, of course, there's the other social links, like Adachi, where, like, he's very important to the story, so doing his social link is actually kind of important to that, and you get a lot of good extra little bits with Adachi there if you do a social link. Which kind of humanizes him a bit as a character. And I feel like he learns, kind of from everything that happens there, and, like Dojima said, he's like a model prisoner and all of that, and, I like Adachi. Obviously, I mean, since we're talking about spoilers, whenever you had to, I remember the first time I played the game, whenever you had to go through that list of people at Aya there, when it's like cold out or whatever. You just like go through the list, like who could it be? And then I was like, I chose everyone but Adachi. I literally chose everyone but Adachi because I'm like, it couldn't be Adachi. How could it be Adachi, right? And it ends up being Adachi, and it's like, oh shit. Like, okay. It's a good reveal. It's a very good reveal. There's a lot of good reveals like that in the game. You always are just going forward, and you know your friends are there to help you along the way every time, and that's what's so powerful about the game. You know, it's the friendships that you make, and you can really feel like you're making these friendships, like they're your friends, because they kind of are, because you were there talking to them and making these choices throughout the social links, and of course this song would come on and play as we're talking about it. God, this song, Jesus Christ. Anyway, it's just so heartwarming, and it's nostalgic, but not in a way that like I'm nostalgic for it, because that is too, but also the game just makes you feel that. It makes you remember memories of you and your friends, you know, from back in the day, and makes you feel like you're there in high school again. And as somebody who struggled a lot in high school, I mean, I had good times, of course, but it was really difficult for me not being able to, you know, fully be myself, I guess, other than with my friends, and not even really knowing who I was. Figuring all that out was really difficult, and figuring out where the importances lied, you know, not being popular, but being with the people that you care about the most. I think if I had played Persona 4 back when it came out, that would have meant a lot to me, but then I'd be playing the PS2 version, which, you know, whatever. I played it at the perfect point in my life, I feel like, but yeah. So yeah, your friends and the social links are really powerful stuff, and some people connect with certain ones more than others. My friend John really likes the nurse social link for some reason. I don't really like that one at all. I only do it because what else are you gonna do at night? You know, it's like one of the only social links you can actually do at night. I think it is the only social link you can do at night, like, other than a couple of the Adachi links. I understand that's why people probably don't do the Adachi stuff as much, is because it's like, it's a pain in the ass to do. He's like available during the day sometimes, and he's available at night sometimes, and sometimes when he's out there, he's not even available. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, it's so confusing sometimes, and yeah. You know, and I got to really connect with the game again whenever my friends played it. I played it, and then my friends played it. Of course, yeah, oh my god. You want to talk about emotional moments? You know, like, I don't want you to go, Big Bro. You're just, like, sobbing. Like, Nanako. Nanako's the best. You know, she's the best little sister. You know, of course, the Junes shirt, you know, every day is great at your Junes. But, it's fucking music. It's emotional blackmail. It's like the Up fucking theme. I swear to God. Like, yeah. All of my friends really like this game a lot too. Some of them prefer Persona 5 over Persona 4, but to me, Persona 4 is always just going to be such a special and magical game. And I just love it so much. And I think the combination of, you have all of these like really deep and personal elements like the social links, the combination of that with like a real RPG, and it all is synergistic, like, and you going and spending time to like up your stats to be able to hang out with these people, to make certain choices, and, you know, to be able to help them deal with their stuff they're dealing with. You know, it's like you have to help Nanako deal with the fact that her mom died and whatnot, and like you have to get like perfect understanding and knowledge and shit like that to do that. You know, like, if you want to hang out with Naoto, you have to have top tier knowledge or whatever to like be able to do that social link. So a lot of this becomes a lot easier on the second go through, but that's definitely a good tip, is to get that shit out of the way. But you've already played the game, because there's lots of spoilers in this video. So did I say spoilers yet? I said that used to be a joke on my channel here, but I wanted to talk about this Yukiko figure here. I think this is the first Persona 4 figure I ended up getting. And this is a really special Persona 4 figure to me, because it came with the Chie figure. They came together because they're, like best friends in the game or whatever. And my friend Mayab, who, really loved Chie for whatever reason, I gave the Chie one to him, as he moved away. And so he still has that, and I still have this one, and so we both still have a piece of each other, and that's really special to me. And every time I think of Chie, I always think of him. And we're kind of like Chie and Yukiko a little bit too, and that means a lot to me too. And I don't get to see him all that often, which is unfortunate, because I love that guy, and I love all of my friends, and this game makes me feel like how I feel hanging out with my friends, and I think that's why it just really hits me so much, is because it's so special in that regard. It's very relatable, and everyone can relate to it in some aspect or another, because I just feel like it's so universal in a sense. It's beautiful, it's a really beautiful game, and I love going through it. There's just this vibe, and it's something to do with the combination of the fucking music, with the just you're in high school, and like you're hanging out with your friends, and there's just sometimes just such nothing moments, and you just feel it because of the combination of all of these elements together. And in that regard, the game is just so nostalgic, even though you may have never played it. You can relate to it, for just having lived through that period of your life. Or I imagine if somebody had played it while they were in high school, they'd get very nostalgic for it later, or they could really relate to just hanging out and stuff. And there's just such a great vibe about it, especially later on, because that you're only there for the year, and then you have to leave, and that's always there in the background, kind of weighing down on you and your friends, and you always kind of talk about it, but you never, and then when it happens, it's just such a powerful moment. Oh my god, when they're at the train station, like, so you all have like a little moment beforehand, but then like when you're actually freaking leaving, and you talk to your main friends there, but then like, and you're wondering, where's my other friends from all the clubs and whatever. Then you, as you're going to the train, there's Yumi and Ko and Daisuke and all of them. I don't know, so maybe the tutor kid. I don't remember from the 24 run, like, how many of them actually show up, but it's enough of them to make it even more emotional, and you're just like, oh, they're there. And yeah, and then when you're actually on the train, and they're all running after you, and they're yelling these, such a wholesome things, you know. And like Yosuke says, like, distance doesn't matter, you know, we're still friends no matter what. And they're like, I love you, senpai, and all these things. And it's so emotional after the journey that you've just been through. It's so powerful, you know? It gets me every fucking time. Just talking about it is getting me, obviously. I can't... Oh my god. And the music in the background and the animation and stuff. It's just so good. And they're like, we'll never forget you, senpai, and all this stuff. And it's just like... It's so good. It's so well done. It's so powerful. And it's the perfect ending to the journey. And then they fuck it all up by having the epilogue stuff. No, I'm just kidding. The epilogue stuff is fine, but, it's not necessarily, like... You know, if they just ended on the train scene like they did in the original, like, that's a powerful thing right there, you know? And then cut to the credits with the Nevermore theme or whatever. It's really good stuff, you know? I do like to see, you know, they should have been post-credits, honestly. I like to see Namatame, you know, trying to be a better person and better himself and stuff, because he was just trying to help before, but then he, like, was made out to be the villain, you know, even though he wasn't. And I like that he has a good resolution, and I like seeing the Marie resolution, of course, and, I don't necessarily love Kanji and his, like, little, like, nerdy persona now or whatever. I think that's the weakest one of all of them. I don't know. I mean, I just don't see that as him. You know, everyone else seemed fine. I like how Yosuke is wearing pink to symbolize, you know, hey, maybe I'm a little gayer than I thought. You know, like, that's how I took it. Or just even that he's okay wearing these less masculine colors now. And it's like... Not that pink can't be a masculine color, but, you know, typically masculine, seen by society as a less masculine color, and it just makes me think, like, it makes me think he's maybe grown a little bit and changed his views and stuff, and, you know, if they just confirmed that he was gay and made him a Link anyway, it would have been perfect, so, I'm serious, that's all they have to change, is that, and then, like, I don't know. What else? I don't even know. I don't even know what they could change, like, gameplay-wise to make it better. I think I said something earlier that I can't even think about right now, because now I'm all emotional about the whole fucking ending there. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Oh my god. It's so good. Oh, and then I like to see Marie, like, in her, you know, whole weather girl persona thing. I mean, that's cool. Persona. No pun intended. Yeah, it's nice to see how everyone's kind of changed or whatever, and apparently Persona 4 Arena is, like, canon to this, because they're like, oh, things got kind of crazy back in May. It kind of diminishes the impact of the epilogue as well, because it's like, you know, if you played Persona 4 Arena, which you might have done I think between Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden Arena came out, so yeah, it's like 2011 or something. So if you played that, the epilogue might have meant more. I don't know. It's just weird that they like kind of set that after that, or like mention that in there. Like, it's strange, because then it wouldn't be as an emotional or impactful as a thing, because you get to see your friends and stuff in that game. Anyway, yeah, but I still really love this game. Here it is, another rambling Persona 4 video where I don't even talk about that many specific things, and I just get emotional and weepy or whatever, and who's to say if I'll even be satisfied with this as, like, a Persona 4, like, video. Does this talk about everything in the game? Of course not. I mean, I haven't even scratched the surface, but that's the problem. There's so much shit to talk about. But I don't necessarily need to talk about, like, all that shit. I need to talk about what I find cool about the game, or emotional about the game, and that's something I definitely find emotional about the game, is the soundtrack and the setting, you know, this small town. I relate to that so hard. I grew up in a small town, you know, went to high school with my friends and all of that, and I vibe so much with that, you know, and Persona 5 loses that. I'm sorry, okay? The city vibe, it's cool that it's a little more open, but it sucks because it's not as personable, it's not as, you know, homey feeling, you know? For some people, maybe that would feel more like at home, but for me, that doesn't. And then, you know, Persona 3, kind of a similar situation, you know? I just think this game has the strongest social links, too, and just the best emotional core. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. Yeah, exactly why. I know exactly why. Here's the problem with Persona 5, let me tell you. The dungeons are about the villains. They're not about the characters. The characters were the core of every dungeon in this game. The dungeons were shaped around how those characters felt, what they were dealing with, and what kind of stuff they needed to accept about themselves, you know? And that the battles, the boss battles, you know, the song we're listening to, the boss battles reflect that, you know? And they all reflect how those characters are feeling and what they kind of need to fight and not fight, but just learn to live with, these parts of themselves that they need to accept in order to move on with their lives, you know, and be full as people. And as we all are, they're embarrassed by these things, you know, because that's the most personal side of themselves, you know, and I think it's even more beautiful that I know they're just doing it to save these people, but also they all connect, you know, and they become this team. They all go through, like, the hardest parts of their lives together in that room, you know, or whatever, at the boss rooms at the end of the dungeon. And then you do the social links, and you build on that, and you move towards the future with these people, and it's always this hopeful, optimistic sort of thing, you know, where they have all these struggles in their social link, and by the end, they kind of find a path forward, and I think that's beautiful, and I think it's amazing, and it's always through friendship, through their powerful friendship of the investigation team, and it's so personal and fantastic. And Persona 5 has none of that, because what they did was just let you do the social links, and then the dungeons had nothing to do with those characters. It was always about the villain, which is stupid. Kudos for trying something new, but fuck that. This should be the Persona formula. Do this all the time. I'm sad that we don't get to see more TV world-like areas. You know, I mean, there's, of course, there's the, whatever the world is in Persona 5 or whatever. Yeah, but I don't know. It's just, it's so cool that these dungeons are relevant to the characters, which are relevant to the overall plot of the game, which they're all, everything connects, you know? I think that's really cool and really special, and it's so magical that you go through these social links, and it has impact on your gameplay, and it impacts your team, you know? You put together whatever team, and you can choose your favorites, and you do their social links, and you feel more connected to these people. It's like you play any other RPG, even like Dragon Quest VIII. Like, I know a little bit about Yangus, but I don't know that much about it. I didn't do a social link for Yangus, you know? Like, the characters are great, but you don't necessarily know all of their, like, deepest stuff, and in that game you don't really need to know that, but here it just, that's what makes the game more powerful, and it makes you more connected to these characters, is that ties into that, which ties, everything ties together, and you see the benefits in the gameplay by they learn new spells, or their persona evolves into the next persona, you know, and then you can fuse new personas at the end of each social link. You can fuse like the ultimate persona for that arcana or whatever. So, and this all ties back to your journey with these friends, and that's really cool and really special. You know, and I'm sure they do this in other games, but I'd never at that point played a game that had done this quite as well as this, you know? Even in like Earthbound or like Mother or something, you know those characters like slightly, but you know, your kid's friends on an adventure, but it's like, you know, there's not deep character lore stuff there, and I think just the customization of it too, you know, you can date all these different people, and you can go about the social links in slightly different ways, and you hang out with them whenever you have the time to hang out with them, or want to hang out with them. You don't even have to hang out with them. That's what's so cool about it. Like for me, I always avoid the... I know it's probably like a good link, but I always avoid the depressed kid who lost his sister, Saki-senpai, because it's like, oh my god, like... you know, I'm sure that link could have been, like, good for me, but, like, he just whines the entire time. And he's like, don't feel sorry for me. And I'm just like, I don't even, like, really care about that link at all. That's probably my least favorite link. Even lower than Chie, believe it or not. The Temperance one is okay, with, the kid and his mom. That one's fine. The tower one, that one's pretty decent. You know, the tutor kid, and I don't really love the nurse one. But, you know, I did most of the social links. I just didn't get, like, the sports club to max. I was almost there, and, like... Oh, I always forget about I. Don't love her either, but, I mean, I can at least emotionally connect to her story a little bit more than I can with, I mean, it sucks. It really does that he lost his sister or whatever. Now something like that. I don't know. He's got some end name, I think. Right? Is that right? I don't remember his name. That's the one I never do unless I'm doing like a full run. I try to avoid his link at all costs. Anyway. Yeah. I just think the game is so emotionally resonant, and it really knows how to strike a balance between like its gameplay and its characters, but it always ties back into each other, you know, and that's the best part. And if you're not super into like character building, like that character building, like hanging out with characters and stuff, I understand this game might not be as much for you, but even the RPG mechanics and like the persona fusing and stuff is like really well done. There's so much depth there. And there's so many things that you can just miss, you know? That's the other thing, is like, apparently there's like, and I think I knew this, there's so many things that I know and that I forget about that I know, and then I just like hear them in a video and I'm like, oh yeah, that is a thing. Apparently, so there's like a model shop. That was one thing I learned this time around, which I think I knew that from before. It's just like something I don't engage with as often, so I kind of forget about it. And then there's like apparently another model shop in Okina or something. I never saw it, but where you can get like the Atlas mascots like Jack Frost and stuff. Saw like a crane game for it or something, but I don't know, maybe that's it. Anyway, yeah, the crane game like that, or like the clothing shop. I kind of forgot about that one. You can get new outfits there. The outfit feature, I kind of liked that this time around. You know, like I said, I dressed myself up as like the cross-dressing one, which, you know, I kind of got the worst one out of all of that. Like, I like Kanji's and Kanji's is okay. I like Yosuke's and definitely Teddy's better. Like Teddy's was really good. Like, obviously. I wonder why, because Naoto knows a thing or two about, you know, gender-bending clothes and whatnot. And I don't know. Anyway. So... oh, wait, only at Sarna. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't remember. This game's really fucking good. I don't know. I just love it. You know? I love the characters. I love being there with them. I love that world. And every time it's, like, gonna end, sometimes I realize it, and then, like, sometimes it's, like, after the fact, it's like, oh, shit, I beat it. Like, now what? You know, like, now I'm not gonna be able to play that for, I don't know, a couple years again, or whatever, and... that's kind of sad in its own right, you know? But it's such a cool game. There's so many cool things about it. I haven't done... okay. Spoilers! Spoilers! Massive spoilers! Massive spoilers. You know, like, massive pig cut. Anyway. The reveal that the gas station attendant was, like, Izanami or whatever. Oh my fucking god. That is... like, one of the greatest, stupidest reveals, like, ever. Like, the whole thing, like, with Namatame in that room where, you know, like, are we gonna throw him into the TV or not? That was a whole thing with that dialogue conversation tree. Of course, I got the negative, bad ending first instead of my friend Mayab, and a couple other people avoided it, but Izanami being the gas station attendant, what the fuck? It comes so out of left field. You totally forgotten about that at that point. And it's just there at the end of the game, and you're just like, huh, okay. But it just, every time, you know, it's always the moment, too. Like, you're asking her all these questions, and then all of a sudden, she's just like, she starts laughing, and she's like, you figured out my game, motherfucker. I'm the big bad. And you're just like, what the fuck? It is I, Izanami. I was the fucking gas station attendant. What the fuck? And then the stupidest part is, this best part of this, is you can go out on every rainy fucking day and she's standing right the fuck there. And it's such an easy detail to miss because who the fuck cares, right? But, oh my god. You can go and you can talk to her. She has, like, something new to say, like, every month. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. I love that. It's so stupid, but I love it. Because at that point, you're just like, everything's tied up. What are they going to possibly do? Who can they pull? Which character can they pull out of their ass to be the final fucking boss? They're just going to have to make up a new character, right? It was the fucking gas station attendant you shook hands with the first fucking day. I know, he's like, I'm like a zombie, like, Bill fucking Murray, you know, like, that's how I feel about this shit, like, it's so stupid, but I love it. It's so stupid, but I love it. Yeah, and doing the, like, 24 run was really cool, too, the 24 social link run. That was a pain in the ass. I talked about it in the other video, but I actually failed the first time, and I, like, wrote myself notes and stuff. And then, because apparently I'd gotten, like, all the way, but the only people I didn't have done was, like, the main cast. Like, I was at, like, rank 8 with all of them, and then, like, rank 9 and stuff with, like, Chie and Yosuke or whatever. Because I was so focused on doing all the other social links. And then, like, the second link around, I remember, and I talked about this before too, but it was, like, at the very end, and I missed it by one. I couldn't figure out, like, I needed one more day with Hisano, the old lady, and she only shows up on Sundays, which makes it a big pain in the ass. So I like, even wrote myself a note there. I'm like, do that as soon as you freaking can. But I ended up figuring out that you could hang out with her on Christmas instead of, like, hang out with your girlfriend. And so if you do that, Christmas is a holiday, so she shows up on Sundays and holidays. And I ended up making it through the link at that point, but yeah. You know, and like, I kind of like the way they did it. Oh, you know what's really cool? And I don't know if that's just for this version. I think you can maybe do that on the Vita version. You can go back. There's, like, an album thing that they added that, like, when you can go to your sofa and, like, read a book, or it says like, look at the album, and you can, like, go back through, like, social link, like, you know, like, parts, like, pieces of social links, in order to see, like, the dialogue and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, that's a really cool kind of, like, feature there. I guess so you can, like, go and look and see, like, at the other choices you didn't make to see, like, what the outcome of that would have been. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing that up is one of the other things is, like, if you're doing the 24 run, you have to have, it's like pinpoint. You have to be, like, the exact, I mean, you have, like, a little bit of room to shirk, but, you know, you basically, you have to use the lunch times, and you have to do everything you can and really figure it out. But anyway, so I always thought, like, because there's this time, because they give you the winter month, but then they just kind of they just do this, like, time skip to like May or whatever from, like, February, and they show a bunch of little memories in between there, which is really cute and nice. Oh my god, that fucking picture, dude. I like if you cry every time, because seriously, every fucking time, you know, it shows all these little memories that they do throughout there, and then it cuts to the picture that they all took, and then, like, he's, like, taking it to pack it up to, like, leave, and it's so emotional. And then, like, that's, like, later on too, he's got the picture and he's, like, looking at it. Oh my god, as he's leaving, like, as he's on the train, and like, Teddy's giving his little speech there, and even Teddy says some, like, really good words there, and oh, it's so good. And then they take that picture later, and Marie's there and stuff, and that's really nice too. That's a good one. But what was the other thing? Oh yeah, and then once you defeat Izanami there, and you're, like, in the TV world, and it's, like, back to normal, and it's, like, this, like, picturesque, like, I don't want to say forested area. It's like nature. It's like a natural area. And they're, like, looking and staring, and they all say their little thing. And my favorite line, one of my favorite Yukiko lines, it always sticks with me. I don't know why, but I just love it. She says, "This is the world inside." So this is the world inside people's hearts, and I'm just like, such a powerful line. It's so good, you know. It's so emotional. And that's the game in general, right? It's just so well done, and you don't cry by the end. It's just like, I don't know what's wrong with you, you know? Do you even have a heart at that point? Like, oh my god. Okay, spoilers, for real. How many times have I said that? Seriously. The part where Nanako fucking dies? How can you not cry there? That is just heartbreaking, you know? Oh my god. That is just emotionally, like, so devastating. Like, that whole section is just, oh, holy shit, you know? Like, and I remember the first time, I think, too, I missed it. I missed her social link by, like, one link. So I thought, is this my fault? Did I kill Nanako? You know? I even joked about that with Jameson because he did the same exact thing where he missed it by one link. And, oh. And I said, oh, yeah, you should have finished the social link or something like... No, I was joking and I told him that. But, no, it doesn't actually matter. But, you should do Nanako and Dojiba's links, though. Get them done before November, I guess it is. So... get him done as soon as he can. Yeah, Namatame, like, going around in his, like, delivery truck. That's such a good, clever, like, motive, like, not motive, like, means of, like, making this happen, because everyone remembers that they, like, got kidnapped at the door, like, the doorbell ringing and all this stuff, and then it's like, Nanako wouldn't just answer the door to strangers, and then it's like, she knew the delivery man. It's like, holy shit, you know, like... What a tragic character, too, because it's just like, he thinks what he's doing is helping, and, I mean, Adachi definitely pushes him in that direction, to think what he's doing is helping, but, you know, but he makes up for it, kind of, I guess, in the end, there, fucking music. Oh, God. I want to talk about an emotional moment. Whenever Nanako and Dojiba are both in the hospital there, and then fucking the Alone music comes on. Do, 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 do. Oh, it's so fucking sad. You have to hear that for, like, months. Oh, it's awful. Yeah. Tragic. It's just tragic, you know? But, yeah. I don't know. I know this is really rambly. I love Persona 4. You know, I can never talk about it enough. I keep talking about it, and I keep saying all the things that mean something to me and resonate with me. This was a good video, though. There was a lot of good things I talked about. I even teared up a couple of times, like, for sure. I feel like I'm constantly, like, at least my eyes are, like, a little watery from this. That's a lot of moments in the game, too. You just feel it. It's just so emotional. It's so fucking well done. I don't even know, maybe maybe Metal Gear Solid or something. I'm trying to think of any other game where I, like, feel this hard, you know? Not a lot of games can capture this level of feels. I fucking love this game, you know? It's one of my favorite games of all time. It means so much to me. It's nostalgic now. It still holds up super well, you know, with my minor... Well, not my... I don't know, my criticisms about its representation withstanding. The game is just so fucking excellent. It's so fucking good, you know? And everyone just thinks... Everyone is like me before I played the game. They all think whenever I talk about this game, they're like, yeah, whatever, who cares? And I was like, dude, oh my god. Not only is it an excellent game, it just captures a time in my life so fucking perfectly. multiple times actually. It kind of captures how it was for me in like high school, and then when I think about playing the game, it captures, you know, sometimes in between here and 2015, but especially in 2015, that game just fucking just it felt so good to to experience, you know. It really helped me out a lot back then, and it really changed my perception on things a bit, and it was a game changer back then, you know, and it's stuck with me and resonated with me ever since, and every time I play it, I just get a lot of that same reaction. It's I don't want to say it's like a comfort game, but it is. It's comfortable, you know? I love experiencing it every time I go in. And every time I go in, it's that same feeling from when I was 20, you know? Where I want to just play it nonstop and just keep going through. And I don't necessarily have all the time I used to back then, now with like a full-time job and everything, but whatever nights I could spare, and mostly on the weekends, I dedicated myself to playing this game again. And it wasn't really a chore. I wanted to play the game, you know. It's just it resonated with me so much. Yeah, I love it. I love this game. It's amazing. It's fantastic. It makes me feel how. Why does Persona 4 make me feel? It's the characters, it's the music, it's the setting, it's the gameplay. I don't know. Even just like fusing personas and stuff, I love it. I feel so comfortable there, just like following guides, like doing that. All my problems kind of fade away. The problems are whatever problems I'm experiencing in the game, and that's basically it, you know? Is it escapism? Sure, but it's also, it makes me understand and feel why life is so worth living to begin with, you know? And that's what makes the game so special. It's all of these elements coming together. The characters facing themselves, you making such deep connections with these characters, and then affecting your journey and your ending to your journey, and how far these people will go for you, you know, the resolve that these people have and that you have for them to finish this case and to protect each other along the way. It's excellent. I don't know if I talked about the art style too. It's very cool. You see this shit? This is like the coolest cover like ever. I know you can't really see it very well there, but if I had to have like a favorite cover to a video game, that might be it. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like any. Well, the Metal Gear ones are cool, but like they're nothing special. They're pretty minimalistic usually. Snake Eater one's really cool. Obviously I love the original Tomba cover, but like, goddamn, that is a packed cover. It has so many good details on there. I mean, it's a little bit spoilery if you like didn't know like all the characters or whatever, but like who's gonna be important and whatnot. But it's fine. Yeah, it's just. Oh my god, it's such a special sort of game, you know? And it's hard. It's hard for me because I'm just like, I don't think I'll ever play a game that like impacts me as much as this again, you know? And I keep facing out, holding out, reaching out to the truth, you know? I keep going. I keep trucking along to find something. And not necessarily that when I'm playing video games I'm looking for something as good as this, but even has a fraction of this. And, you know, it's very creatively inspiring, too. I love the concepts in this game, you know, and I definitely have taken some inspiration for that for other things that I'm doing, like writing my book and whatnot, but, despite its flaws, I still just... It's hard for me to say it's not perfect, because it's still just a perfect sort of game, you know? And there's so much depth here, whether it's, you know, all the little intricacies or secrets or anything, just little things you might not know about with the gameplay, or just like all the social links or the quests even. I mean, they're not anything deep, but, you know, sometimes you go grab an item for this person or something. It's cool. You get rewards, you know. There's the whole making stuff with the items that you get from enemies system, you know, getting the weapons and stuff from that, and all these like part-time jobs and all this stuff that you can do. There's so much in this game that I just love. You know, I've spent thousands of hours, let's say 1,000+ hours probably at least. I mean, I pretty much keep it to like 60 some hours every time I play this game. Like, this most recent run I did was like 67 hours, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right, because 60 hours for the story stuff, and then like 7 hours for miscellaneous, you know, fusing personas and grinding for money and stuff. That would probably work out to the 67 hours that I spent, you know, playing this. And somehow it's consistently always like around that same time frame of me beating this. Like, the original run was like 60 something hours too, and which I know sounds like a long time, but it's really not. You're gonna, by the time it's over, you're gonna be like, God damn it, I wish this game would go on longer, you know? So what does Persona 4 mean to me? It means everything to me, is what it means to me. It's special, it's nostalgic, it's a memory, and it continues to be memories, you know? Every time I play it, I'll make some kind of new memory with it, so... I'm sad it's over this time, you know what I mean? Like, I said that earlier too, but I was just out walking and I'm like, God damn it. Now it's over. This is how I feel every time. You know, it's like... It's such a great game, I just want more. But I also don't want more. I think I'm satisfied. I'm good with where we're at, you know? They're never gonna make another Persona game that really lives up to this, I don't think. You know, 5 was good, but it's got its problems, and I played, like, the arena games. Even those, you know, like, have the same characters, but it's, like, doesn't have the same feel, you know? I didn't even finish Dancing All Night. I mean, I don't have any interest in going back and doing that game, you know? This is like Persona Q and stuff. They made a lot of Persona 4 games after this, and... Whereas I was excited at the time, I don't think we needed any of it. I don't know if any of it makes any sort of meaningful legacy to the story, because the story is perfect as it is, you know? It's all there in the game, and it wraps up nicely, and yeah, it's perfect. Perfect! Perfect! Yeah, that's exactly right, though. It's perfect. It's a perfect game, you know? I 10 out of 10, you know? What else is there to say? You know, that's It is what it is. It's fucking perfect. And I love it, and it makes me feel. And how many times have I said that, right? Spoilers? Did I say spoilers? Yeah, okay, anyway. So, that's it. Just, this is Azura Game Club. Stick around, subscribe to join the Bad Girl Coven. I think we're that on this channel too right now that it's switched over. And, yeah, never forget that magic comes from the heart. This is the world inside people's hearts. Yeah. Yeah. Until next time, goodbye.